Happy Wednesday, March 27th, everyone. Hunter here again at Weather on the Go. And in today's weather forecast, we will be focusing on a rapid warming trend just in time for Easter weekend. And we're also tracking two storm systems, one on the west coast of the United States and one on the east coast of the United States. We'll get you what you need to know about those two storms and looking ahead at a bigger storm system brewing just in time for Easter Sunday and early next week with potentially some significant severe weather. We'll be diving into all those details in today's weather forecast. Before we get there, make sure if you are new here to subscribe to the channel down below. We put out detailed, accurate weather forecasts throughout the year on this channel. Also be sure to press the like button, the thumbs up button down below. It helps out more than you know. So let's look at our surface map here this Wednesday, and you can see a cold front across the eastern U.S. We have some moisture across the eastern seaboard ahead of that front, but behind it we do have some high pressure working in. So a lot of sunshine, a lot of cooler weather in the wake of that cold front, and boy is it cold here across the middle of the country for late March standards. You can see up here where we did put down some heavy snow over the past couple of days with that storm system. Temperature anomalies are 20, even 30 degrees below normal across the upper Midwest and into the northern high plains. But the majority of the lower 48 in the wake of that cold front is below normal today. And looking at that, our weather alerts across the country, we do have freeze warnings across the Missouri Ozarks region, back into eastern Kansas, northeastern Oklahoma, and northwestern Arkansas. So definitely cover up the vegetation here if you haven't already, because it is definitely cold out there. And looking over the next couple of days to round out the work week, we are starting to see a rapid turnaround in our temperatures. So below normal today, we still see below normal across the east as we go into Thursday, but notice across the middle of the country, especially near the Great Plains and the Corn Belt here, we're going to start to see those above normal temperature anomalies come back, and especially by Friday, ending the work week on the 29th, we're definitely going to see those temperatures turn around in a big way with well above normal temperatures there for the Corn Belt and the central and the southern plains. So let's look at our precipitation as we go through today across the country. There's our occluding low pressure system with some snow left over there into Ontario, cold front dragging some rainfall. We'll talk more about that in a minute across the east, but across the middle of the country, high pressure is in firm control today and on Thursday. So not really anything happening, just some cooler temperatures and then rapidly turning around those temperatures to above normal. And you can see Friday even seeing some dry weather again across the middle and eastern U.S. here. But let's look at the west coast here, because we're going to see some pretty heavy rainfall. And you can see going through that Saturday time frame, some of this rain could be piling up for portions there of western Washington state, western Oregon, the coastline there of California, all the way down into central coastal California there. We could be talking about widespread 1 to 3 inches worth of rain and the snowfall prospects. This is going to have cold air with it aloft, and you go up in elevation, the Cascades, the Sierras, and the Rockies are going to see some decent snow, several inches, several feet out of this as we go through Saturday, the 30th of March. And then let's look at the east here, because we're going to see some pretty heavy rain in the east coast as well. Here comes the rain, some moderate to heavier pockets of rain for portions of the Delmarva down into the eastern Carolinas, coastal Georgia, and northern Florida today. As we go into tonight, we're going to expand and intensify that rainfall shield across New England down through portions of the east coast, and this is going to be particularly heavy tonight for the eastern Carolinas into eastern Virginia, and then again around the Delmarva region going through tonight. As we go into Thursday, tomorrow, the heavier rain moves further north and eastbound, I-95 corridor, Boston, New York City, Hartford, down there toward Trenton, and then perhaps as far south and west as the Raleigh region, seeing some pretty heavy rain there into your Thursday time frame. And finally, by Friday, we'll start to move that precipitation out from southwest to northeast. Still some rain-snow mix up here into Maine, but other than that, we're going to be drying out to end the work week, but not before putting down some healthy rainfall totals. You can see the rainfall totals here from coastal Maine down through Nantucket here in Cape Cod, all the way through the New England coastline, the Mid-Atlantic coastline, and down into the southeast coast. We're seeing widespread rainfall amounts of 1 to 3 inches, even a a spot here in eastern North Carolina could be getting 4 inches worth of rain. So definitely seeing some decent rainfall totals, and this could lead to some flash flooding potential here. We have a slight risk in a couple areas for flash flooding potential going through your Thursday morning commute, and you can see that's across eastern North Carolina near the Raleigh region, and then back down here into portions there of northern Florida, Jacksonville, the Tallahassee, and on up there into southeastern Georgia toward the Savannah, Georgia region. And then as we go into Thursday and Friday time frame, a slight risk for eastern North Carolina prevails, and even a marginal risk extending up there into eastern Virginia and even coastal Maine. So we're going to keep an eye on that as we go through late week. Now we're keeping an eye on another system, a bigger storm system for Easter weekend and early next week. We turn our attention back to the west here, another positively tilted trough for that Saturday, March 30th and Easter Sunday, March 31st time frame, just in time for Easter weekend. That positively tilted trough will be shifting eastbound through the country as we enter into April there for Monday, April 1st into Tuesday, April 2nd, and it's going to be causing some very interesting weather. So here's the temperature map as we go into Easter weekend. Here's Saturday. Spring-like temperatures are back in the picture here across the south and the southeast. Easter Sunday, we have a very nice looking warm frontal boundary setting up across the middle of the country, across the Ohio Valley back into the Midwest. If you're south of that boundary, you're going to see spring-like temperatures easily. You're north of that boundary, you're going to continue to see more of that fall and winter-like air mass as we go into Easter Sunday. And then going into Monday the 1st, you can see spring-like temperatures south of that warm front, fall and winter-like temperatures north of that front, and that just continues on Tuesday. But eventually a cold front will come along towards the middle of next week, Tuesday, Wednesday time frame, and start to usher in some colder air from Canada down across the central plains, the Midwest, and the Ohio Valley yet again. But let's look at our precipitation map for Easter weekend, because I know you folks have a lot of plans moving forward. Here's our week system on Saturday, bringing some rain-snow mix around the Great Lakes. Really not that big of a system. It is moisture starved, so we're not looking at any big totals here from this. It's our trough out here. The Sierras are going to get absolutely crushed by snowfall on Saturday. It's very heavy snow there for the Sierras. Very heavy rains for Los Angeles, for San Diego, for Santa Barbara, those areas. Fresno seeing some pretty heavy precipitation on Saturday. And then going into Easter Sunday, it's all about the Rockies, folks. Very heavy snow there for Easter Sunday. Warm frontal boundary begins to set up there pretty nicely across the Ohio Valley, Midwest, Easter Sunday. Right along that front, we're going to have repeated rounds of precipitation, and that actually could focus that front a little further south. When you have a lot of convection and shower activity, that can actually reposition the warm front just a little bit further to the south. So we'll be watching that for severe weather potential as we go into Easter Sunday. More on that in a minute, but you can see on Monday, there we go, more precipitation right along that front, even a heavier snow event again across the upper Midwest on Monday. And then going into Tuesday, here comes the cold front, ushering that cooler air mass, and we're getting rid of the snow and the rain as we go towards the middle of the week. But looking at our total snowfall with our next big system, Saturday, March 30th through early next week, Tuesday, April 2nd, you can see a nice swath of snow in very similar locales here that we just saw the snow. So from the western UP of Michigan, the Northwoods of Wisconsin, back through central and northern Minnesota, the Dakotas, especially South Dakota, getting into northern Nebraska, and then back into the Rockies here. Places like Wyoming into Montana and the Four Corners region, we're going to see some pretty heavy snowfall here on the order of several inches as we go through early next week, but also heavy rain. This system's going to have a lot of moisture from the Gulf of Mexico, from the eastern Pacific Ocean, so we're going to have some healthy totals for the Ohio River Valley, the Mid-Atlantic, and then down into the Deep South as we go through that Tuesday, April 2nd time frame. But we need to keep an eye on the severe weather threat here. So here's Easter Sunday. This is your surface-based CAPE, your convective available potential energy, otherwise known as instability. And you can see the instability values will be on the rise across the southern and central plains, perhaps the Missouri Ozarks region for Easter Sunday. And we're watching that warm front position because right along and south of that warm front, instability will be highest. We have some wind shear to work with. Isolated to scattered strong storms will be possible around the Illinois, Missouri Valley there and into the Ohio River Valley for Easter Sunday. Much more of a robust setup as we go into Monday, April 1st, as we turn into the new month here, and definitely Mother Nature keeping us in the loop that severe weather season is here. And you can see instability all the way up into the Ohio Valley, strongest values in Texas and Oklahoma here, over 3,000 joules per kilogram, and this is going to work to provide a broken line of some looks to be a supercell setup from the Ohio River Valley down through the Missouri Ozarks into the southern plains, with the strongest storms likely across Oklahoma and Texas with those instability values over 3,000 joules per kilogram. Then as we go into Tuesday, still some instability down around the Tennessee River Valley into the southeast, the Dixie Alley region. So that could give us a round of some storms, probably more of a squall line as that cold front organizes more and moves to the southeast. So Tuesday's threat looks to be more of a damaging wind and hail producer, but I wouldn't rule out a couple tornadoes during this day either. As we go beyond this storm, another cool down from Canada comes in as we go in towards Wednesday, April 3rd through the following Tuesday, April 9th. Below normal temperatures out west and across the south, otherwise normal temperatures in the upper Midwest here, and we're going to be seeing still active weather through that period, through April 9th, still above normal precipitation outside of the eastern Great Lakes and interior New England, where those folks will be seeing below normal precipitation through that April 9th time frame. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel down below for detailed, accurate weather forecasts throughout the year. We will keep you covered. Also, be sure to press the like button down below. It helps out more than you know, and I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of their Wednesday out there.